Hi, I'm Justin Marr, Head of Zinc Textile. Launching this January, we have 8 new collections, the largest launch since the brand began back in 2010. The launch is very much a tale of two halves. With one half, we've gone back to our roots with 70s and 80s inspired designs, whilst the other half represents the easy living aesthetic that balances Zinc's glamorous alter ego. We've been describing the launch as glam fantasy meets smart modern. Jacopo 2, Yeti furs, our first collection of leathers and Character wall coverings have been photographed all together in a purposely staged cinematic studio that gives the collections a sense of early 80s nostalgia, whilst Salvador, Roccapina, Drake and Trey Bouclé collections was shot in a modernist Portuguese villa where the rural landscape reflected the rugged, earthy tones of the designs. First up, we have Jacopo 2. For those of you that have known Zinc for a while, you may remember the original Jacopo collection. Some of the designs from this have been carried forward, most notably the Jacopo chenille, which has the look of a woven moire but is in fact a digital print. Amaluna is a more refined adaptation of our popular Luna silk and linen weave from the old Orbit collection. Amaluna is irresistibly smooth and has a surprising weighty feel to it. Its fluid drape makes it the ultimate curtaining fabric. A velvet and a robust Ottoman weave complete the collection, both of which contribute to the glammy feel of Jacopo 2. Our first wall covering collection for a while, Character offers a selection of show-stopping designs. Here we've kept pattern to a minimum throughout the collection so as not to distract from the tactile nature of the grounds, including an innovative lacquer, a soft faux suede, natural cork and raw slubby silk. Character is the feature design of the collection. An adaptation of our Jacopo moire fabric, a large-scale moire design is printed onto a slubby silk ground. Going with the 80s theme, we decided to wrap a classic Mercedes in the design. We love how it's turned out and it will be the feature image of the launch. Lacquer is a wall covering that really embodies the 70s and 80s influence. A high-gloss, reflective patent finish that bounces the light and gives a real high-octane feel to a room. The bold colourways only add to the drama. The name says it all for this one. Sueded has a retro vibe but a modern sophistication. It enjoys the appearance and feel of suede. You can either brush the pile flat for a tailored look or allow the nap to make subtle sueded patterns. A stain-repellent finish is a practical addition, resulting in a durable wool covering with all of the qualities of a classic suede. Oolite was a popular cork wool covering from our Scope collection. We're relaunching 2 colourways on the original foiled ground and have created a new matte version in 10 colourways, where the cork tiles are laminated onto a matte ground instead of the foil. Next up is Yeti, our collection of the finest faux furs, inspired by the plush pads of the 70s and voguish attire of the glitterati. There are 10 qualities in the collection, each of them with a dense pile and super soft texture that beg to be stroked. Rich colours of teal blue and cypress green are joined by a group of more authentic animal colourings and markings. All 10 furs are also offered as ready-made cushions and throws, in stock and ready to go. This year sees our first foray into leathers, with 5 qualities in the collection, each with their own natural characteristics that are inevitable in such a product. Leather is a classic material with an ageless quality that wears in, not out. The more the leather is used and loved, the more relaxed and worn in the quality becomes. A byproduct of the meat industry, each quality is sold by the full hide, which typically come in at around 5 square meters. All our hides are 100% natural European bull and have been chrome dyed, ensuring they have a beautiful buttery softness and accompanying durability. Jimmy is a classic leather that you might associate with button furniture. It has a visible natural grain and a polished surface, giving it a sophisticated shine. Stevie is our smooth talker. It has a matte finish that gives an understated elegance. Marley is probably the most characterful in appearance, as the natural grain of the hide is immediately apparent. Like the others, it's also incredibly soft to the touch. The softest of leathers, Harrison is a nubuck hide made from top grain leather and buffed to perfection, giving it a supple nap and suede-like finish. Salvador is the main collection of the second half of our launch, promoting a casual, easy living aesthetic with an edge. There are 10 designs in the collection featuring bold patterns that have been sympathetically transposed onto a variety of cloths, including rich velvets, decorative jacquard weaves, and stylish embroideries. A logical successor to our Geronimo collection, Salvador brings the same confident enthusiasm, but in a more refined palette of natural earthy tones. Inspirationally, this collection looks to the great surrealist artists of the early 20th century, many of the designs being named after titans of the surrealist movement. For our photography, we decided to add some elements of surprise, taking inspiration from surrealist genius René Magritte, best known for his Man in a Bowler Hat series of paintings. Keep an eye out for our mystery man in a bowler hat appearing alongside some of the fabrics in the imagery. Our key design, Salvador, was inspired by the mottled aesthetic of travertine, monochromatic pairings, and varying lengths of velvet, creating a pitted, large-scale horizontal graphic. Las Posas has an all-over multi-directional embroidery ground, which is then discharge printed, lightening the colour of the pattern to create a loose fretwork design with a weathered appearance. ARP is an innovative interpretation of a maze-like design where strips of textural velvet are appliqued onto a relaxed linen ground. Brack features a naively hand-drawn design that resembles a contemporary puzzle of fine lines that flow across this cotton cloth. Saffron looks and feels like a tapestry weave with its colourful, chunky yarns and bold geometric shapes. It's actually the same quality as our popular Petworth design from last year's collaboration with MHD. Fortu is a classic ICAT design, but on a much larger scale. It's big and bold, but effortlessly simple, using matte and shiny yarns that give it the appearance of a silk. Kiesler is a magnificent jacquard velvet, where sharp linear profiles protrude from the ground. A slightly darker tone borders each shape, giving them a more distinct 3D feel. How great does it look on our much-loved Marenco sofa? Baldassari is a cruel embroidery of curvy shapes that slot together like pieces of a jigsaw, creating this all-over contemporary yet rustic design. Sonodorus is an abstract design, screen-printed, but achieving a hand-blocked appearance. The 100% linen ground gives the design a relaxed, airy quality, whilst the hand-painted metallic detailing adds an element of surprise. A selection of the designs from the Salvador collection are also offered as ready-made cushions, in stock and ready to go. Roccapina is a collection of perfect plains that balance out the bold patterns of Salvador. Roccapina is named after the mountainous shores of the island of Corsica that reflect the rugged character of the qualities. There are 8 designs in the collection, comprising an eclectic mix of cloths, relaxed linens, embroidered velvet, chunky boucle, and printed chenille, all with a lived-in, weathered appearance and feel. Rockapina is a bold yet simple stripe design woven on a chunky cloth that is rustic in appearance and feel. It's woven as a horizontal stripe, but as you'll see in our photography, can also be used vertically. Araujo is an undulating chenille weave that has been digitally printed to give it the appearance of a multicoloured ottoman. Solanzara is a yarn-dyed linen chenille with a vintage appearance and deliberately dry texture. At first glance, this embroidered velvet could easily be mistaken for a jacquard. Only on closer inspection do you realise that Estagnol features a small-scale labyrinth of embroidery. Sagoni is a thick carpet of bobbly boucle with varying heights and thickness of yarns that create this super textural cloth. The Drake collection comprises a clever little trio of indispensable plains that tick all the boxes in terms of practicality. They're all washable, price and appeal. Benjamin is a delectable faux fur which is incredibly pleasing to the touch. Todd is a toweling velvet with a dense pile and oh so soft nap, whilst Drake is a textured knit with a curly pile that could easily be mistaken for a sheepskin. As the name suggests, Très Bouclé is all about the best of bouclé, a comprehensive collection of 26 qualities that focus solely on texture. Bouclé is the main quality here, but other characterful and tactile yarns also make their appearance throughout the collection, including knitted chenille, soft faux furs and chic velvets, to name but a few. Maremma is a deceptively deep pile velvet that looks and feels like a mohair, but is in fact a soft merino wool blend. The name says it all. Poodle is a pedigreed bouclé weave, reminiscent of a poodle's coat, soft to the touch and extremely tactile. Shaggy is nothing short of dreamy. This chunky chenille is punctuated by a shimmering yarn, creating an undulating scene of texture and tonal colour. We've really enjoyed creating this large and diverse launch. Hopefully it's clear from the designs themselves and the photography that we've tried to think outside the box. We hope you enjoy working with these collections as much as we've enjoyed putting them together.